Hey there! Welcome back to the Mothcast, a podcast about video games and how a couple of moths feel about them. The game for episode 41 is called Doors Paradox, a puzzle game about opening a door to another world. Don't forget about the red and blue gems, and let's get into the podcast. All right. So, the game for this week is called Doors Paradox.
Paradox.
Yeah. Interesting game for sure. I think it's
Yeah,
like
it
Doors dash paradox or Doors colon paradox. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Something, I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's Doors Paradox.
Short description of this game. It is like escape room the game, but like
Kind of.
a lot of really small ones.
Yeah. It's like small, like puzzles.
Yeah, it's a lot of like find this item to open this thing to get to the next tiny puzzle.
Yeah.
Basically, and then your goal is to open the door to
You're basically the
continue.
whole goal is to find the way to open the door.
Yeah, and that doesn't always have to be like a key. That can be like a mechanism.
One of the levels is like you literally crash a car through it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. You got to figure out a way to get the car running again, and then the car turns on and crashes through the door, and then you can just like go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's sort of the game, the premise. Let's talk about the music. Really interesting decision making from whoever decided to put this music in the game.
Now, I'm gonna let you speak more on the music because I'm gonna be honest. I was listening to my book while playing this game,
good choice.
So I didn't really listen to any of the music.
Yeah,
not like intently anyway.
Pretty good choice actually. Considering like there wasn't really much going on with the music in this game. It was so for some reason whoever decided to whatever, when they were like, oh, you know, we gotta come up with some kind of background track in order to, you know, like while people are playing the game, what should we do?
Yeah,
you know, they ask the question.
Have it empty.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could, but like eerie silence is also eerie. But they decided to do like horror music almost, like a spooky kind of like dun 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 dun. Like I don't really know how to describe it other than like it was they were trying to go for like creepy vibes. And like what? Because they're really until like maybe the very end with the like Halloween themed
with the
doors,
like, Halloween themed doors in the like
in the third chapter,
spooky themed ones.
There weren't really. There's not really horror or anything in this game, like at all.
No,
so
really.
Like, why have the like weird like ooh?
I don't know. I maybe because like the premise of the game is spooky itself. It's kind of like sci-fi, not sci-fi-ish. It is a little sci-fi-ish.
Yeah, kind of sci-fi-ish almost.
But also like kind of like magical-ish.
Yeah, definitely.
It's called Doors Paradox, so there's got to be some kind of like science.
Yeah, I think the word you're looking for is like mystical.
Mystical.
It has like mysticism elements.
Mystery. Like, you know, etc.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it in the story section because there's definitely some like there's some kind of point of view being like expressed here. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it's trying to do, but you know, it's trying to do something. But yeah, no, the music, like in the sound design, a lot of the small sound effects were really good, but they weren't they are pretty much exactly what you would expect. You know, like if you're playing a game and one of the core premises is like, oh, you found a screwdriver. Well, that screwdriver is going to be unscrewing something, right?
Yeah.
Like a bolt. And so whenever you go to unscrew the bolt, yeah, exactly. It's going to sound exactly how you would expect.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it does it really well. all the sounds sound exactly how they should sound. Like you break glass, it's a glass shattering sound effect. Like you know,
I mean, what more do you want?
I will say that there were some levels with like running water where every time you like interacted with the water, it made a distinct sound, which was like nice.
mean-
But like I don't really want to. I don't want to give the music in this game too much praise because like
It was just
anything,
there.
yeah, it was just kind of there. This was definitely a game where like you could very easily turn off the sounds and just listen
Which
to like a podcast or
is basically what I did.
yeah,
I didn't
listen.
turn them off, but I just didn't listen to them. I was
Yeah,
listening to
like
something else.
you listened to a book. I think I was just watching like YouTube videos on the other monitor. Like,
Yeah,
I always try to play at least like an hour or two of the game with its like
its
bass
own
music.
sound.
But if I have to come
And it
back
got
from multiple play sessions, which I did because time constraints each day I was playing,
yeah.
yeah,
But then it also was just like music was kind of boring, so it's like, just
yeah, no,
well, because obviously the music was on a loop too. So
yeah, it wasn't really exciting. I don't really give it very many points for music. Like the sound
I
design
mean,
was exactly how it should be. So like minimum points there, like average points there. But like other than
yeah,
that, Um, now the graphics I will say were like they were the kind of cartoony 3D that you would see in like Unity. I
yeah,
believe this game was made in Unity. And it used like probably a fair number of like stock what is it called?
models.
Models and assets and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Um
that's fine.
yeah, I believe this was made in Unity. Yeah, it was. Yeah, like a lot of stock standard stuff they probably didn't have to pay for or paid very little for each pack. And like you could tell that they did that because like I said, with the Halloween stuff, it was like they grabbed everything they possibly could from that pack.
Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, and then made it
It was,
interactable. And then they just like
yep.
made puzzles out of it. Um
And some of the puzzles were like pretty good.
yeah, there was definitely a point where like you went from oh this is really easy to like oh wait hang on, you know.
Yeah, some
I
of them were like just like not necessarily puzzles, but more just like uh puzzle quote unquote. But it was like kind of tedious to do.
I think I had to look up
You
one
had to
like
look anything
exactly
up.
one puzzle because like everything that I tried didn't work and like
Do you
I
know?
was on the right track and like
Do you
for some
know
reason what I did
which?
just didn't work.
Do you know which one it
Yeah,
was?
of course. Number 14 on the first chapter, where like you had to unfurl these banners that had like the four numbers or letters on it. And then you had to like click the doorbell looking things at the top that were crystals in the correct order to like unlock the thingamajig. Do you know what I'm talking about?
14.
Are you going to look at it
Um,
right now?
I'm literally gonna look at it right now.
And then like there was a point where you have to like spray the mirror and the mirror tells you the proper um like order of these letters. And like for some reason everything that I tried because I'm like,
Wait, you had trouble with this?
yeah, dude, I like I had the correct like letters to click, but for some reason nothing that I typed in like took.
Like it's clearly that you're supposed to swap 1 and 3 and 2 and 4.
Yeah, correct.
So it
And that's what
becomes
I
3,
did.
4, 1, and 2.
Yeah, and that's what I did. And like it wasn't that I was like missing something. It's just that like I don't know if I was just putting in the wrong letters and like cuz I did exactly what I thought I did the second time and it worked after I like had to turn everything off and then like go do something and came back the next day. Cuz I had the same it was the exact same letters. It wasn't like I looked up what to do and then it was something completely different and I missed it. It was like I looked up what to
Oh,
do, and it said to do what I
what
was
you've done.
doing, and like I just needed
I
to do
mean,
it better.
you just had to like do the letters in order, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
But that was the only time I ever had to like look anything up because I thought I was missing something, and I like wasn't.
Um,
I think it was just operator error, but I don't know. Anyway,
Probably. There wasn't one I had to look up, but I did have a little bit trouble on one of them. I think it's 9 in the first section. Let me see here.
which one was that?
Um, Golden Gate,
Golden Gate.
one of the like Chinese ones, or
Yeah,
Asian,
yeah.
East Asian, whatever. There's little things there's like panels on the door that like flip around when you put the balls in the slots. Um, but like I couldn't figure out which symbols it went to because like when you
I just need to see this. Hang on.
yeah, go ahead, go into the
So it
game
was
and
chapter 1,
chapter 1 and number 9, Golden Gate.
puzzle 9, doors paradox. Um, I'm not gonna open the game. I'm just gonna look it up on my phone really quick.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
yeah, I mean, like
But
I guess we
yeah,
were talking about graphics technically, uh,
yeah. Sorry.
but no, it's okay. Um, the graphics on this game are like they're just all right. They're not
Yeah, I mean they're not
anything special.
spectacular, but they're not bad.
Yeah, they definitely accomplish what like the goal of like the thing, like the goal of the game, right?
Mhm.
Like you can clearly tell what every single item is whenever you look at it and you're like, "Oh, that's a knife. I need to go and find something that I can, snip with this knife to like get the stitches to pop out." You can tell that that's what you need to do with this
Yeah,
blade,
the stitches are very obvious.
like you go, "Oh, that's a spanner. I need to spanner something so that I can pop that something out or open something or whatever." And usually there'll be like spots that have empty spaces and you'll find like a piece that plugs into that space. You know what I mean? Like it was all very visually apparent. Which I guess I can give them props for doing that. The only thing is like it's just so very obvious that this is a game that wasn't made with original assets.
Yeah.
So I would have to like kind of mentally deduct points from that. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with it. It's just like if you want to get up to like top tier games, you usually have some custom made graphics, custom made assets, custom made models and stuff like that. And obviously if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm totally happy to eat my words in this case. It just looks
Yeah.
it looks very generic when it comes to a lot of the models. Now, one thing I will say is that this game has some very creative ways to use its assets. Like
It's true.
there was a few times where you know you like didn't even realize that that was something you needed to click on until you clicked on it and you're like, "Oh, that's a part of the game." Like, "Oh, okay." You know, not very often because like after a while you learn that you just need to like click everything, just click it all. Like, um,
Yeah, pretty much.
I think there was maybe like two chapters, two puzzles in the end, like the last third chapter that like something happens and you have to use the stuff around this door to interact with something outside of that bound. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Use something.
Like
Mm,
I'll give you an example where there was one where you had to repair two cannons and a harpoon
oh yeah,
and then you
yeah.
had to
Literally
shoot
one of the
something.
end ones, and you shoot
Yeah.
the stuff down.
Yeah, and then you had to
Oh, that
harpoon a
was good.
chest. And then there was another one where it was like a mail like car where you had to turn it on and once it was running It like
Yeah,
zoomed into this mail place, and you could grab the key off the wall and open the door and leave. I was like, oh man, like that is such a better use of every single speck of room. But they only did it like twice, you
yeah.
know, which is kind of a missed opportunity. I wish there was more like moving around or interacting with more stuff. Just because like this game is very reminiscent of uh stuff like Myst or like Siberia.
Um, the it reminded me of a game called The Room.
Yeah, of course. I think everybody. I feel like most people have played The Room
Yeah,
or its sequels or it's inspired by. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like escape room stuff in general, right? You go to an escape room with family or friends, and um, you know, you do the
get to
little
it.
puzzles on the wall, and you pick up little items and you go, wait, does this go over here? Wait a minute, does this have a magnet in it? You put it up against the wall and it does something cool, and you're like, oh my gosh, oh. um so
Yep.
it just so happened that like each one of these doors was like leading to the next one. I don't know, it's not very clear. I guess you're just like kind of in a like another world, but
Yeah,
um I guess let's talk about gameplay, because we
yeah.
talk about these doors and these puzzles. So what it is you spawn in as this like onlooker that can interact with the world, and what you see before you is like a door on like a platform, I guess you could say.
Mhm. Pretty much.
And sometimes the door changes. Sometimes it looks like it's like a vault door from like a bank, or sometimes it looks like a front door to a
It's just
house.
it's just several different kinds of different doors.
Yeah. Um and basically you're told by some entity to like you need to open the door, and you can do it by doing this. Oh, and also there are, these gems that you can find along the way. And there are these little notes that you can find along the way, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. And so, you do. I think the first one is like super easy, like get screwdriver to like open box, and then like search underneath this like seat cushion for the hidden items, and then like open the
Yeah,
door. It's like
pretty much.
super easy. Um but obviously like they progressively get harder, and like maybe not harder, but like more pieces,
More.
more complex.
Yeah,
There are like small puzzles of like memory. There are some that are like matching puzzles. There are some that are like slide puzzles. Um, what else? There's a few like line puzzles, I guess you would describe it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it's
yeah,
like you have to start one way, and then you have to like thread it through, but every time you move, the like different places on this little grid get blocked off.
yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. There were a few other like mini games toward the end that they incorporated. There was the one where you need to like it's like a whole huge game. I don't remember what it's called, but like it's like you get a number on a circle, and then the circle gets it's like a circle that you need to click, but the circle around it gets smaller and tells you when to click.
Oh,
And the,
like a reaction game. Yeah, I know
yeah,
that
and
one. I know what you're talking about.
like there's another game that is like it's like a rhythm game because it like goes to music. I don't know what it's called. I forget.
I don't know.
But
There was the like car one too. You have to like click the arrows in the car to make it dodge the
yeah, yeah.
um
Like it's
cars.
like three lanes and the car's driving. You have to go left or right or middle, and then if you get hit by the car, you lose. You got to go get a coin and do it again. Not that anybody has ever lost that in the history of the video game, but I'm sure someone has.
Don't look at me.
Did you?
I failed it once because I think I was like misclicking on the arrow and
Oh,
didn't get
yeah,
it
that makes
back.
sense.
Oh well.
Yeah, I almost lost it a few times, but
Don't look at me.
um, but yeah, no, I mean, like a lot of interesting creativity here, because like it looks like they wanted to do a lot of complex things. Like I wish that they would have at times, because
Yeah.
test the people that are playing your game. But upon like further uh like looking into this game, it was a mobile game. It was designed to be a mobile
Yeah.
game.
I felt that while playing it. I'm like, this would be a really good mobile game.
Yeah, it was meant to be a mobile game that you played on your phone or on a tablet, and then they ported it to the PC, and
Just from
obviously we
like
got it for free from
just
the
from
Epic
the
Store.
way just from the way you like move around the like to look around
Oh
the
yeah, we have to
door,
like
like
click and drag it.
yeah. It's like
Um,
you do that to tap and drag on your phone or tablet,
yeah.
you know?
Now that like sort of brings me to one complaint that I had about it, which obviously this might just be a you were using a mouse and not your finger problem. Um,
Yeah.
but the whenever you click on things, it like zooms you in, right?
Mhm.
And like sometimes if you're on one side of the door, because obviously like the platform is circular and the door is like, it's usually like one side of the door and then the other side of the door. You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yep.
Sometimes when you're on one side of the door and you click something that happens to be like a click point for the other side of the door, it'll like wrench you to the other side. And it was like
Yeah, it'll just like
super
spin.
disorienting.
Yeah.
I didn't like
I
that at
noticed
all.
that once or twice, and it's just like, "Oh, whoops. You're
Yeah.
back."
Um, Another complaint that I had was there was one puzzle toward the end that I absolutely hated, which was like a gravity puzzle. Where you needed to get like the colors, like three colors down
Oh,
the bottom, and the other
yeah,
color.
I know
Ugh.
the exact one you're talking about. I hated
Ugh.
that one too.
I actually like
Oh,
I was like, I need to calm down. I need to
yeah,
go like
same.
mow the lawn or something and like get all
That
my
one,
frustration out and come back and do
uh,
this again.
it sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't a good design. But they did it anyway. Like uh I don't know how
Yeah,
to describe it other than
it was
like
bad.
frick.
Anyway, um, yeah, the one I got a little bit stuck on was the, as I said, number 9, the Golden Gate. Um, I don't know if you're looking at it right now, but remember the panels in the back of the door
Yeah.
where they have the numbers on them?
Yeah.
You know how they're oriented, right? 3, 4, 1, 2.
Mhm.
What I thought is because you're looking at it as the 3 and the 4 is on the left and the 1 and the 2 is on the right, when you go back to the front of the door, you use the 3 and 4 on the left side and the 1 and the 2 on the right side, right?
Oh. Okay.
But actually, the numbers correspond to what door they're attached to. So you're looking at the numbers, you see the right side 3 or the left side 3 and 4 actually corresponds to the right side of the other side on the
Yeah.
front of the door.
I think this one kind of tripped me up as
And that
well,
one,
but I didn't get like stuck on it cuz I just like
it was a little like it stumped me for a bit.
yeah.
It's like, why isn't this working? I put the right ones in, and am I missing something? Am I
Although
stupid?
I would actually complain more about the slide puzzle in this one. Um just because like I don't hate slide puzzles. In fact, like I actually really like slide puzzles,
Like slide
but
puzzles.
this one was like really stupid.
One of my favorite like mobile games slash on pilot games was you know
The cars.
escape
Yeah,
with the
that
car,
me too.
or get the
Um
car out. That was the
but
best one.
this one was definitely
Actually, that's not true.
up there in
That one
terms of silliness.
that one wasn't the best one. I played the like connect all the computers far more than I played get the car out.
Yeah.
which is like pipes basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did like all the times where they were like, hey, do the pipes.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of the sort of jigsaw puzzly type things where you had to like maneuver the blocks around to make the picture. I like those ones as well,
Oh yeah, those
personally.
ones are good. Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean, like this game is like a lot of really traditional, like physical puzzles,
Hmm.
kind of crammed into a like virtual space, I
Which is really
suppose.
cool,
Which
honestly.
I really like. I mean, I don't hate this at all. A lot of the design elements outside of the actual puzzle bits were a little like standard and stock, but you know, it's not
Eh, Whatever.
that
It's
bad.
fine.
It's really not. But yeah, so let's quickly talk about these stories. Not that either of us have a time constraint today, but there's not really much to say because this was a puzzle game after all. However,
Yeah.
there are, like I said, 3 chapters. And then in each one of them, there is a like sort of like left door, right door ending that you can
Yeah.
go through both doors basically. Um,
You get the gems, each color gem.
yeah, in each puzzle, there's a blue gem and a red gem hidden, sometimes not really hidden, that you have to pick up. And if you get each one of them and then get to the end of the chapter, you can do the like 2 final levels,
Yeah.
which corresponds to each ending of that particular chapter.
Hmm.
So like the first chapter was pretty like overt in what it was trying to say, where it was like how would you say it was like somebody who like lost their way and like they got into an
Yeah,
accident
I
and then
guess.
they got like depressed and then they went on like some kind of journey to the east, which is why like you said the Chinese or Asian puzzles, right? And then
Mhm.
they like were trying to seek wisdom.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what the endings of that one were.
Oh, here, let me.
I was gonna say if you've got the game up, you may as well. I guess I could technically pull up my
Yeah, I
footage,
guess
but
so.
it likes to
Because in
load.
each level there were uh like also scrolls telling
Yeah,
you
the little notes.
like lore slash story ish. The one was follow the light and one was embrace the
Oh
darkness.
yeah, that's what it
Oh,
was.
actually, I didn't get the scroll in that one.
Oh my god, how dare you?
Yeah,
Did you
right.
forget the 2 scrolls on the final 2 levels of the first one?
No, just the one scroll.
Because I did. I had to go back and refine those. I was like, oh no.
Where's that scroll?
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, follow the light, embrace the darkness. You got to go through and you know, find each one. The story is, I guess, you know, like I said, he goes there and then it's not enough. I'm pretty sure because like
Yeah,
he's a engineer before, he lives a nice life, and then he loses contact with his like family or you know that person who you're supposed to be playing as, I suppose.
yeah,
And
some
you know, once they get to the end, once you get to the end, you have to like choose whether you're gonna embrace darkness or light, I
yeah, because it's like
suppose.
something about there was something about like their like greed or like looking for riches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember.
Yeah, the first one wasn't terribly exciting. Um Greed consumed you, destroyed, and you wanted to fill the void inside. Are you gonna, you know, embrace the light and come back to your where you were before and then or were you going to embrace darkness and depression, basically? It is worth noting that for some reason you're like told, oh yeah, like you're dead or something. You're in another world. These are just some creations after the world is gone, because that's what like the second chapter is like the world is dead. And like this is what happens. This is what happened to humans on the world. Like some of them wanted to pursue science, and some of them wanted to, you know, like
It's literally right there.
what?
I'm just stupid and blind.
Dude, it's totally like it's totally easy to literally miss everything in these games.
One, two. What the fuck? All right,
But yeah, and so like the second chapter is about like, oh, you've gotta like you could have had everything, the whole universe, but instead you like destroyed the whole world with your greed. And it's very much like, oh, like you're talking about like either climate change or something like that when it comes to that. Or like, I think because the final two chapters of the chapter 2, the final two puzzles, one is like, oh, you're like terraforming another planet. Oh wow, that's so nice. You're expanding the human population to more stars. Wow, it's so noble and so good, etc.
And then the other one is
like destroy it.
Yeah.
And
then
the third chapter is talking about like order and chaos, where like this one I found like really interesting, because it wasn't just that they were talking about order and chaos, it was that they were also like giving order and chaos interesting and unique meanings that are still technically correct, but like more interesting than I've ever seen them defined as before, which was chaos is like doing new things and being like spontaneous and like progressing forward and like expanding your horizons. And I'm like, okay, that's not really what that means, but like continue. And then order is like staying the same, being rigid and like being comfortable. And I'm like, okay, still not what order means, but I understand, you know.
But sure.
Yeah. Like I think they used the wrong words for both of those ideas, because those are two like sort of competing ideas in a lot of people's heads. It's like like progress versus conservation. Which I believe is actually
preservation,
preservation is, I guess, is a better word for it.
Definitely not me reading Mistborn.
I was literally just gonna say, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's in a book that you're currently reading or read recently. Yes, that's what I was gonna say, is like these are two conflicting but complementary ideas that have been around for a long time. I just wouldn't describe them as chaos and order.
Yeah.
But they were on the right track. I like the third chapter's like quote unquote story the best. But like, all right, you know. I think the final puzzles for the third chapter might have been like the worst, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about.
They were okay.
Yeah, they were all right.
The Enter into Oblivion was like tedious.
The last one of the
of chapter 2.
I don't recall what it was, but I'm going to look at it. Oh yeah. Oh, I actually know exactly what you're talking about. The one with the like guy who like blocks things off.
Or no, am I thinking of the chapter 1? I mean, the guy who blocks things off was kind of neat, because it was like, oh, you can't look at that.
Yeah. And then you eventually like break the track and like yeet him off the edge. It's like,
oh, like oh, okay, neat.
All right, bye.
Direct, kiddo. No, I think it was chapter 1. Sorry, where it's like you have to input each one at a time.
Oh
'Cause you have
yeah,
to, like,
and there's 8 of them.
you have to open the drawer. Like 1 in Roman numerals is this color, and
Yeah,
it's this shape on the little book. And then you have to go around the door, find that color, remember the shape that it was supposed to be,
yeah.
and etc.
I
And it
think
was just like,
that is the most like
long. I don't want to do this.
yeah. Well, I think that in particular is the most like escape room type thing. Because like
Yeah, that's
imagine it like you're in an escape room with like
usually.
2 or 3 people, right? Where you're like, oh, I found the panel that corresponds to that thing. You go in there and you tell me what it is.
What it says, yeah.
And then you're like shouting over, the room over there. It's this one is number 1. And they go, what? It's this one number 1? You go, yeah. And then you like keep doing that 8 times until you've like opened the thing. They're like, all right, we did it. And then you go running into the other room. Like
Yeah.
that's what I got from that, which I didn't like hate, but I do agree. Like 8 of them. Wow. Okay. So
doing it yourself is tedious. That's what I mean.
well, yeah, because like especially with the controls where you're gonna like click and drag to move yourself around, zoom out. Yeah.
You can't click and drag while you're zoomed in.
Right.
You have to zoom back out.
Yeah. It's either way,
But, I mean,
I don't
get it eventually.
I definitely personally I enjoyed this game pretty immensely. I didn't hate it.
Too.
It's all really simple puzzles. Like
they weren't hard.
I'm not like amazing at puzzles. I'm not bad at them. I'm just I don't usually like go seeking puzzle games, even though we've played a lot of them in this series.
I do. I do seek puzzle games. I enjoy puzzle games. I play Picross for fun.
Yeah, I mean Picross isn't like puzzle. That's just like
it is though.
It is? No, I thought it was just like click number and color together, done, easy.
No.
Oh,
wait, what do you mean? What do you think
Picross completely wrong. All right. Anyway,
it's not color by number. What do you mean?
I guess I thought that it was, and I was incorrect.
No, Cross is different.
Any hooser, these are all pretty simple puzzles that if you're casual and you like a feeling of accomplishment, because they're all like pretty bite size, I would suggest it. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily because I think it's got like a $15 price tag or something like that.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's a small price tag. Yeah, $15 price tag. Although it does have a free demo on Steam.
Okay.
So it's took like 5 hours to do or so.
Yeah, something like
that. Not bad. I don't know if it's necessarily worth $15, but if it ever pops up again on the Epic Store or Epic Games Store for free, I would highly recommend picking it up. If you love this sort of thing, $15 might be fine for you.
Jaunt through some puzzles,
or throw it on your Steam wish list and buy it for cheap during like a winter sale or something.
Yeah,
you never know. I'm gonna give this game a 7, unless there's anything else you want to say about it.
No, I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I think we covered everything.
I figured it wasn't something that we would talk about to extent.
Kind of like an average.
Yeah,
a little above average. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
Maybe that's because I'm a little better than puzzles than you, because
Yeah, no, I like because this game is not challenging.
Easy to me.
Yeah, this game is not challenging whatsoever. I think I have a little less patience for puzzles nowadays than I did when I was much younger.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just a personal thing. So having them be like fairly easy and having, it gives the it gives the ADHD a little bite of, you did it, good job, here's a cookie. Every time you finish a puzzle, and that kind of like pushes me a little bit towards like enjoying this a lot more than sitting on a puzzle and trying to work it out for
like thinking for like hours, and then you can't think for that long because
like
Too
instant response definitely does me a whole lot more
yeah.
good than working on something for 6 hours and then having the like sudden relief of figuring it out and then typing everything in and it being right. Like
Yeah.
that will frustrate me and make me put the thing down, and then I just like I'm never coming back.
Won't come back. Yeah.
So but yeah, so that's that for us.
Yeah. I think it's
Did
6.
we have a
'Cause I
game? I'm pretty sure you set up our lineup. What's our next
yeah, I
game?
did. The next game is hold please. Jitsu Squad.
Jitsu Squad. Yeah, I haven't looked at this game at all.
I
But
haven't
I believe it's
either,
a
but
fighting game.
yeah, I believe so. But that's okay.
Jitsu
It'll be fine.
Squad. It appears to
I mean,
be.
we did play whatchamacallit, Gigabash,
Yeah.
which was a fighting game, but it did have a story, and I don't know if Jitsu Squad has a story, so I guess we'll find out.
As far as I know, um, if it's not, I don't know what to do other than we're gonna do our best. Wait a minute. Yeah, because I looked it up on the website that we normally use to find things, and it said that it had a 3-hour campaign,
Okay.
which I mean, yeah, it's got like it. This thing reminds me of like Double Dragon, but like much more cartoony.
Yeah.
It's that sort of side scrolly beat 'em up type thing. It does say it has single player features, so I assume that that is a story. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, there
but
you
yeah,
go. Jitsu
no.
Squad will be sweet.
I guess you know what this could relate. This could much more relate to, since it is technically co-op, is Castle Crashers, but like you're
Mhm.
an animal
Okay.
instead.
That makes sense.
So that could be fun.
Could be.
So we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for
Alright.
listening.
Yep.
We'll see you next
Thank
week.
you. See
Have
you
a good
next
one.
week. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.